What's up guys, Mike here, and I'm back with another video. Today talking about Resident Evil 2 Remake's The Ghost Survivors DLC, which arrives for free for all platforms tomorrow, February 15th. And I cannot be more excited that they're adding even more content to this fantastic remake. Might I say the best remake possible from any game period in the history of gaming. This is how you do a remake. Resident Evil 2 Remake is fantastic. And we have a ton of content in the game already, and not only are we getting more content, but it's completely free again for all platforms. I'm so freaking excited. But up until now, we haven't really known 100% what it's going to be. All we knew is that it's going to have 3 different playable protagonists, and that's pretty much it, and that it was going to be free. Now we actually have information of what they're going to be like. So there are 3 what-if scenarios featuring 2 characters we've seen both in the remake and original Resident Evil 2, and 1 new character. Now, the cool thing is we've never played as any of these characters. So I'm gonna basically be reading off the PlayStation blog talking about each one of these so I don't get anything mixed up, and I'll give my thoughts on what I think about this. So the first one's called No Time to Mourn, and features Robert Kendo, obviously from the, Kendo gun shop from the original and in Resident Evil 2 Remake. And it features Robert Kendo, who, obviously, I kind of want to keep this spoiler free, but basically something happens to him in the story, and it's very sad, very tragic. In the original, for those who've played the original Resident Evil 2, there's not much story to him. He's just a gun shop owner who helps you for like 2 seconds, and then sadly dies. But this is interesting. So he's given a second chance when an old friend with a helicopter radios in to pick him up. And it says, packing up what weapons he can, Kendo sets out into the streets to seek out a way out of the infected city. On his way, a new type of poisonous zombie stands between him and freedom. Now, I will be putting the image of it. They actually have an image of this new poisonous zombie. It's basically the zombies in the game reskinned, but just, I guess, gonna have a poisonous type, feature where most likely they bite you and you can get poison from it, as opposed to, never getting poison from zombies. So the next one is called Runaway. Now, this is cool because this is a character, again, that we know from the original Resident Evil 2 and see in the remake. Unfortunately, never in not much of a state at all, other than being dead. And that's Katherine, who is the mayor's daughter, who, if you play the original and the remake, you see her corpse on Chief Brian Irons' desk in his office. And that didn't change in, well, the location changes in the remake, but still the same essentially. So, seeking to escape Raccoon City with a certain someone, Katherine Warren must navigate the streets while avoiding a strangely mutated type of zombie that can only be stopped with a particularly powerful ammunition. Play carefully and you might survive. Now, I think this is really, really cool so far to just know that there's 2 different types of enemies, and they could be reskinned, just slightly altered, but I still think it's cool. It's still more effort than most DLCs do, and again, this is completely free. Now, the last one is called Forgotten Soldier, was a USS agent who thought to have been wiped out with a squad. The appropriately named Ghost makes his debut in this. Deep within the laboratory underneath the city, another soldier besides Hunk attempts his escape. Having to deal with hordes of monsters is bad enough, but what do you do when they're covered in armor? This especially challenging scenario will put even the 4th Survivor veterans to the test. Finish each scenario on its regular difficulty or give them a shot in the unique training mode. Unlike other modes, training will lower the difficulty a bit by giving you additional items and item slots to start out with, and makes a great way to learn enemy positions and routes before you tackle each scenario on their standard, more challenging difficulty. It's also a great way to understand some of the mechanics of Ghost Survivors. Unlike the 4th Survivor and Tofu Survivor, you can pick up more items than you start out with. But instead of finding items in the environment, you'll find pickups by defeating specific zombies with backpacks or grabbing items out of vending machines. Choose carefully though. Once you take an item from a vending machine, you're locked out of the other 2 items for that run. Plan ahead and you might just make it through. There's plenty to do across the 3 what-if scenarios. Alongside bragging rights for completing each scenario, you'll have access to fun new challenges, trophy, and achievement specifics to the Ghost Survivors. Completing challenges will unlock accessories to decorate your character, including a tiger mask, a cuddly raccoon that sits on your character's head, and more. Go for the high score, the fastest time, or see how many challenges and accessories you can unlock. The 3 imaginative scenarios await you in the Ghost Survivors. And of course, guys, don't forget that on the same day tomorrow, February 15th, we're getting the 98 polygonal outfits for Claire and Leon. So it makes them look exactly how they did in the original Resident Evil 2. It still blows my mind to say the original Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 2 Remake after just so many years of it just being Resident Evil 2. So there you go. That's the information for the 3 what-if scenarios coming in the Ghost Survivors free update DLC, which comes out tomorrow, February 15th. I know I've said that a million times, but it's really, really cool. I like that they're adding effort to this. I like that, you know, that they're not adding effort, but that they're adding content to it, and they're making an effort to make it different. It's not just you're playing as 3 different characters and you got to go to point A to point B. I like how they're each very unique. I like how Kendo's is kind of like straightforward in the sense of like, okay, you got to pick up what you got to do and just make your way through. But then there's also poisonous zombies, and in Runaway, you basically have to avoid a special type of zombie, which I'm very curious to see how that's going to look. And I'm assuming hers is probably the most survival in the sense of like you barely have ammo. And then Forgotten Soldier being what it seems like another kind of 4th survivor. So the zombies, or I guess the infected, actually have armor. So I think that's very interesting that each have a different spin to it. And of course, it's free, and I think it's cool. I always thought that when they first announced it, that was going to be kind of like another 4th survivor, mainly a leaderboard type of world record type of thing that people want to go for. But it looks like these are very replayable, but also fun. I'm very curious to see the length of each of them. Obviously, once you know the route, you can probably do it if it's as short as a 4th survivor in a matter of a few minutes. But I'm very curious to see, and I think it's just really cool that they're adding more content to this game. I personally would love to see a Ada story in the form of how she gets out of Raccoon City. Now, for those who have played Umbrella Chronicles, I think it's Umbrella Chronicles, not Darkside Chronicles. I get them mixed up because I always play them together so often. I think it could be Umbrella Chronicles, that there's a scenario that you play as Ada, I believe it's 2 episodes, and it's her escaping Raccoon City, how she gets out. It's a little over the top, but it's really cool, and it's very difficult. It's single player, because the game is typically co-op. You could play it single player, but it's typically co-op. It's completely single player, and the whole objective is to get out to the helicopter to get out of Raccoon City. So I think that'd be really interesting if they actually showed that in the remake, if there was a DLC where you actually play as Ada post the end of Resident Evil 2's main campaign and her actually leaving. I think that'd be pretty cool, even if they charged $5-10 bucks, as long as it has some decent length to it. I think no one would complain about it. They've given so much content just out of the box, and then now we're getting, you know, DLC costumes and this 3 what-if scenarios. So I think that'd be really, really cool. If not for that, I'd really love a Mercenaries mode. For those who have played the original, you know there was Battle Game, which was the 2nd iteration of Mercenaries. The first one being Resident Evil 1 on Sega Saturn had Battle Game. And I love that mode. I think that mode was cool. You got to play as all the protagonists of Resident Evil 2, including Ada and Hunk. And you also got to play as Chris, who was the only character brought over from Resident Evil 1. So I think that'd be really cool. People have data mined the PC version of Resident Evil 2 and found the new Resident Evil 7 Chris's character model in there. So I think it probably might be something already planned. I think the longevity of it would be great. And this game should be entirely single player, and I think that goes speaking for every Resident Evil game, but I would be 100% okay with a Battle Game Mercenaries mode being co-op, because I think that is the type of time where it's appropriate. It's not the main campaign. It'd be something completely separate and additional. That would be cool. That would be cool. Even if it was just 100% single player, you know, add Leon, Claire, Ada, Hunk, Chris, all these characters as well. Maybe even some of the other classic Resident Evil characters. You can add Tofu, of course. And I think it'd be really cool. I think people would pay for that. Give me stages. Give me stages that are more than just Resident Evil 2. Maybe some from 3. Because Resident Evil 3 is definitely coming. This game is done so damn well, both in ratings and in sales, that we most definitely gotta get a remake of Resident Evil 3. But I'm really curious to know what you guys think of the Ghost Survivors. Whose campaign of the 3 what if scenarios are you most interested in playing? Personally, for me, I probably have to say Runaway, because Runaway seems like the most oddball type of one. Again, Kendo's looks straightforward, kind of like a continuation of the Resident Evil 2 campaign itself. The Forgotten Soldier looks more like the 4th Survivor. Runaway seems like the different one to me, because I'm not sure you're going to get a whole lot of ammo, and I want to know what this strangely mutated type of zombie that's going to be. Again, it's probably going to be something kind of reskinned, or maybe just have like some kind of new flashy effect, or maybe just take off more damage. Not that that matters, because if you play on hardcore, one bite makes you go to danger anyway. So I don't know how that's going to be, but I'm really excited for each of them. Definitely have to do playthroughs with the 98 polygonal outfit with the classic soundtrack. I think that'll be really cool. I'd like to see down the line maybe some more free outfits. Give me Leon from Resident Evil 4. Give me Leon from Resident Evil 6. You can give me different outfits, maybe even some from the movies. Maybe give me the one from Degeneration, Vendetta. I don't know. Either way, it'll be really interesting to see how long they support Resident Evil 2. Personally, they could release the Ghost Survivors and the 98 outfits and probably call it a wrap and be done with it. And I think no one would complain, because they love the game. The general consensus is more than not that people love the game. I absolutely love the game. I'd be fine with that. If they add anything more, it's insane. And again, pay DLC, free DLC, as long as it's good. For the pay DLC, I'm willing to pay for it. I think us Resident Evil fanatics would pay for, I mean, it sounds bad, but probably anything, because we just love the franchise so much. But I think that Capcom has really turned a new leaf, and they've done so well for the past year. Actually, starting with 2017, they've been doing so good. I personally feel really with the start of Resident Evil 7 and Monster Hunter World and Mega Man 11, they've done so well. Devil May Cry 5's around the corner. They've done so damn good. They really have been redeeming themselves in many people's eyes, myself included. So either way, what do you guys think of the Ghost Survivors? What DLC would you like to see, whether it's Mercenaries mode, whether it's more story? I don't want Resident Evil 3 in the form of DLC. I'm pretty sure we're going to get Resident Evil 3 as a full-on retail remake. I'm not worried about that at all, but about Resident Evil 2, what are you guys interested in seeing? Either way, I really wanted to cover this topic. Fusing words together. Wanted to cover this topic because unfortunately I didn't get to yesterday. This information came out yesterday, but unfortunately a lot of stuff's been going on. My computer is not particularly great. It's very old now. It's going to be what is it going to be? I think 6 years old this year. And rendering, I apologize for getting out my videos so slow. Rendering has just been a nightmare. I render the videos and then they come out, the audio desynced, so I basically have to render it again and again. It's just been absolute hell, but I apologize. I will get all 4 of the Resident Evil 2 scenarios up, hardcore, no damage. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.